Rose plant is a woody perennial flowering plant of the genus Rosa. They are quite beautiful to see and there are several varieties. There are over 300 species and probably thousands of cultivars. The size and form are quite varying. There are trailing ones, erect shrubs and climbers which can go even up to 7 meters in height. Sharp prickles are there on the stems of most species. That is why we say no rose without a thorn. Flowers vary in size and shape and usually they may be large and very beautiful. Colors can range from white, pink, red, orange and yellow. But I have only one color of rose flowers at the moment. There were some others also. Scientific name of this plant is Acistaceae gangetica, commonly known as Chinese violet or creeping foxglove. It's a fast-growing perennial herb, often used for ornamental ground cover or garden display. It produces trumpet-shaped flowers that are commonly white, as you have it here, though there are other varieties like purplish blue, which I do not have here. These are shrub variety of jasmine flowers. You can see both buds as well as beautiful flowers. More than the beauty, they are famous for their great fragrance. This shrub variety, because it's growing in a garden pot, it will not grow as tall climbers. This is a nearby plant which is known as crepe jasmine. Flowers are similar in appearance, but most important difference between the two is that crepe jasmine does not have any fragrance, while the fragrance of true jasmine is well known. What you have seen is a crepe jasmine with small leaves. This is back to the jasmine. This is an Aralia golden ball plant growing in a small garden pot. The leaves have a yellowy, shining nature. That's why it gets the name of golden ball. This is a special variety of Eugenia plant. You can see, unlike the usual Eugenia plants with pink leaves, that is, the older leaves are dark green, while this one has a dark pink or another color. That's why it's known as Eugenia liver red. Moving on to vegetable plants, you can see the small seed on the okra seedling. Okra seedling, you can see the cover of the seed on the leaf itself. Here the seed of the seedling has fallen off. You have an interesting group of plants here. One is grapevine, dates plant, small tiny red amaranth plants, and there was also a moringa plant you can see in one corner. A better view of the moringa plant. This was grown from seeds bought online. Even though it's very tiny now, it will grow into a real, somewhat a small tree in the long run, but not in this garden pot. And is growing further, and soon it will need support, otherwise it will fall down in the monsoon season with a lot of wind and rain. Plants are in the same pot. Now I am trying to thin out the several sprouts which has come on the grapes plant. Actually I had planted a stump of the previous grapevine because I had to remove the previous grapevine due to problem in the location where it was growing. Plant grown from thrown away seeds after we had eaten the dates. Initially we were not even sure whether it was wheats or dates. These are green peas plants, 3 of them in one garden pot, and probably a small, no I can't see that, in another pot. Tiny seedlings of green capsicum coming up from seeds bought online and sown into garden pot. Very tiny green amaranth plants, and you can see other plants also beside them. Ixora leaf can be seen there. Slightly bigger ones with the red amaranth plant side by. You can see the green amaranth plants as 2 or 3 groups in 2 garden pots. Actually, they were not grown here. They were sown in another garden pot and scooped out into these. This time I have plenty of seedlings in several garden pots of green amaranth. I'm not sure how many will grow well. When you have so many seedlings of green amaranth, that's a sweet potato plant there which you saw. This is a sweet potato plant which came up by itself from remnants of the previous plant. Even though I have so many green amaranth seedlings now, I think eventually I lose most of them. Simple reason is that these garden pots will not have enough nutrition for these plants. These also look like red amaranth plants, but they are not. Look at the stem. If you carefully look, you can see them red. Can you guess what plants they are? It is very difficult to guess from tiny seedlings. I like to tell you. I think I am showing it here. No, that is not clear here. All of them have reddish stem and green leaves. Beetroot plants grown from seeds bought online, and I'm not sure how many of them will survive. Chinese potato plant grown from remnants of the previous crop. This bitter gourd plant has an interesting story behind it. Some time back, there was a bitter gourd fruit which went ripe, and I thought it was true ripening or due to some other insects creeping in, and there was a caterpillar inside. When the caterpillar was released, it was jumping around all around, and I could see a few seeds in that spoiled bitter gourd. I thought none of them would germinate. I planted them in various places. Fortunately, one of them germinated. That is this plant. I was really surprised to get a good plant from that spoiled bitter gourd. This is the best chili plant I have had for the past few years, with plenty of fruits. You can see one fruit here which is getting ripened, and a few flowers are also there. Usually most of my chili plants, they grow up well, flower, and then no fruits. And many of them are getting damaged also. The